Morning folks, Massey Dave, Monday morning. Hope you're all comments and likes as always. New subscribers, anybody who's hit the hype button, much appreciated. And yeah, hope you've had a good weekend. Yeah, we're back down here, a bit chilly this morning. There's a bit more on this little beauty here. So we've got the dashboard painted, so we're going to fit a few gauges in there and lights. I think general consensus is we're going to take that off and put an alternator on there, purely because of the wiring loom that we've already got is for an alternator type. So that was already supplied to us. So let's start putting some bits in the dash. Right, you can see we've got the assortment of bits and pieces here. The dashboard is now nice and dry. Let's get a new phone case. A few warning lights, tacho. We have other gauges here, which are a fuel gauge. We have the light switch. We have a temperature, a horn, tacho. So we'll start putting these into this lot. Right, so we've got bits and pieces in now. Ignition switch, light switch, tacho, charge warning light, oil pressure warning light, temperature gauge, fuel gauge, and a button for the horn. So we'll get this flipped over, get the wiring loom, and start connecting stuff up on the inside. So we're in here now. Put a fuse box in. Only things that we need 2 fuses is a permanent live in on the ignition side, and then one that does the power supply for everything else. So I had one of those, made a little bracket to fit it in. I've checked the clearance when it's on the dashboard. Oh, back to the fuel tank, and tying the covers on there. Yeah, it clears the back of the fuel tank. Right, so we're into the wiring. We've worked out on the ignition switch. You've got live coming in. So when you turn it to position 1, you get a live coming out, which this green wire goes to said fuse box there. The other sides of these are supplies that go to your warning gauges, etc. The second permanent live out of here goes to the other side, which then supplies the power going back to your light switch, which is that one there. Got dip beam, main beam, and side light one. So there is another wire here, which is your side lights, which go back to the rear fender. So that's a separate wire fitted in. Now we have to work out the rest of these bits and pieces here, which go to horn, gauges, warning lights, etc. So we'll work our way through, decipher which wire is which. We're going to have to make some terminal ends up. That one should be all right, but this one's got round connectors on, so we're going to have to either chop the ends off or make a little short fly wire to go from that to fit onto these various other spade connectors. So set to with those. Right, I think we finally succeeded. Everything's wired up. Horn, fuel gauge, temperature gauge, oil pressure warning light, charge light, light switch, ignition, fuse box with a couple of fuses in it. It's kind of the diagram, yeah, it's kind of there, but we've still got a couple of wires spare here, which I believe are for a vacuum sensor warning light. So I'm going to see if we've got a thing on the back of the axle, wherever that is, because that'll be the feed for it. And yeah, that's the power and the warning light, which would probably go in that hole there. So progress on that. Right, well, we've got dashboard all wired up, a little bit of the loom on here. We've got an alternator now ordered for that, so hopefully that'll be here tomorrow. The wire here for the oil sender unit ain't quite long enough, so we're going to chop the end off, put a bit in to make it long enough so it's not too tight going around the back of the engine around there. So a bit of wire and some crimps ready. Let's chop it off and extend it a bit. I've got the stop linkage finally put in, but I had an issue. It was fouling on the back of there, and I reckon there was a spacer that was missing. So I packed it out with a couple of washers down in there, pack out that off so there's clearance for everything to operate, which it now does move as it should do. Got to sort this out here because that had been wired on, but at least that's not fouling behind, you know, the rods behind that. So there's the wire we've had to extend because it isn't quite long enough. So that one's on there. Bit of head scratching, but we've overcome it. Now I'm going to shoot off and get a battery now for that. We have one said battery now. And we've moved the dashboard to here. We've connected the loom up there. Also got the wires on there. We've still got the safety switch for the clutch not connected. And yes, still got the dynamo, but we've just pushed the like the feed wire for the ignition light on there. So now we're going to turn it on and see if we get charge light and oil pressure switch light come on. Woohoo! We have light. That works. Yeah, what should we do next? Can't do the horn because we haven't got a horn on here. So we'll link those two together and see if the starter will spin. We have, what's going to happen? Is it going to turn over? Ooh! We have motion. Right, so we've given the air filter clean out. We've got that bolted back on because we got it welded up the other day. That pipe's in place. We've been faffing around here. We have a dashboard in. Bit of a bugger to put in because you have to unbolt the steering column. You have to unbolt the throttle right now because obviously that's got to go through the dashboard. So we've taken that out, give that a bit of a clean up, and then you can slide it back down through there, through the hole in the dash, connect it back up down here. So yeah, all the bolts out of that to give a bit of play on the old steering column to get that in onto the tank. Also got the wires through here ready for the starter solenoid, ready to go, well, the safety switch should I say, on there. We know we've tested those, so that works. So yeah, chipping away, lovely. Get these screws tightened up. Might have to get in there with a washer because we're missing the well, washer and a nut because we were missing the little clip off the tank. Seem to be able to get some fuel in it, bleed it up. Also got the cables here to connect up for said fuel sender unit, which is that one in the middle. I need to undo one of the nuts there and connect the earth supply up. We've chucked some diesel in it. I don't think the fuel gauge is, I think actual sender units might have had it. We'll have to do a bit more testing because he's only got 20 litres of fuel in, but as soon as you put earth on it, we go to a full tank. And even by pushing the doodah up and down, it stays on full. So I think that bit might have had it. I'm going to have to do a bit of more research. Anyway, we've got some fuel in. As I say, we've bled that up. I'm not too sure about that seal on there, so that might have to be looked at and dealt with. We've bled it round with a pump. We did have a filter that didn't tighten up enough. We've got a leak here. Not that I touched that, but it's still looking a bit suspect. It might need a new leak off pipe, possibly. Do I try starting it or deal with the bits? Oh, see what happens. Well, that's a start, Rog.
Yeah.
On the key, took a bit of winding over. Yeah. Oh, pressure light's gone out. Back and doing something. Not too smoky. Right, Rog? Yeah, thumbs up.
Like you say, that lift pump's leaking a bit.
Yeah, I thought it. Yeah, might have to take it apart and redo the seal on there. I didn't touch it, but yeah, obviously he's not right. Right, so we've managed to extract the fuel sender unit. So I've tested it and I was getting absolutely no ohms resistance on it at all. And in there it looks a bit, I don't know, it might have fallen apart. So yeah, just ordered a new one, hopefully tomorrow. All in all, a successful day. She starts on the key. Other bits might turn up. We can get those on. That might be this job, unless he decides he wants something else doing. But place she runs. Fuel leak to sort out on that bowl though, but it is Tuesday morning. What we've had turn up. One of those, which has got the right cam bit on the back, but it's slightly different on the front as far as the lever. So we're going to whip the other one off. Take this one off, because that lever there, what we need, not what we got on there. So we're going to strip it down, because it's this cam bit on the back we want to go onto that one. So let's get the bolts out, put a rag in the hole so I don't drop any bolts when I take it out down into the brakes, because we wouldn't want that now, would we? So let's whip these out. So we've got the bits extracted, a bit of a faff, tiny little roll pins through the levers. That's a lever we need to reuse. You can see that's different to that one. I say that's the bit we want, but we still got to get this bit off the end here, and I see there is a little roll pin through there, so we'll get that in the vise and hopefully we can tap that out. Then we can reassemble this bit into there using that lever. And we obviously want the spring, the cam and that on it, so let's go and hit that little bit out with that. Slight little modification needed. The hole in that is slightly bigger than the hole in that, which is what was holding the pin. It was holding that little plate on there, so we're going to have to drill that out to accommodate the pin to go back in for that. Well, we got it fitted on, but it was quite straightforward as just pins out, pins in, because the shaft on there, the hole was, for that pin, was 90 degrees out in relation to what we had on the other side. So yeah, I will pop this on. I have just done it. I'll try and shine a torch in, but you can actually see when you move it, it does push that lever forwards and backwards, which is what it should do. Probably going to be a job to see. If you look through that hole there, if I move the lever, you can just see, let's get the torch in, it's pushing that forwards and backwards as it should do. There she goes. Right, let's get the rest of the bolts put back in. Let's get after this little bad boy. As you can see, it's wet. So we'll isolate the fuel. Yeah, just undo that, put it out of the way, stop it draining out. Take this apart, give the O-ring a good clean up, and see if we can stop it from dripping fluid. Damn good mess on the floor. Got the O-ring out. Look at all the crudding under there. No wonder it wasn't seating and sealing. So I'll give that a damn good clean out. Get rid of that and try again. Well, I'll try. Well, hopefully that's dry now. Seems to be. We've just got the jack under that wheel. We've got tyre man coming out to either repair the puncture or put a new tube in it. Let's get after this dynamo, get this removed, ready for the arrival of the alternator, and hopefully we're not going to have too much grief to fit it on there. Well, we've got that little bad boy removed from there, so again, waiting for it. So we'll carry on up here. We'll get the steering column all bolted back into place, get the throttle arm down in and clamped back into its slot, and last the screws to hold this lot to that. Right. That looks a bit better. You can actually see the ends of the tabs in it. Let's screw it back on and see if it'll sit on that ball. There goes the moment of truth. Will it snick in place and not come off? Look at that. Brilliant. Now we don't need any funny little bit of, where is it? We don't need the bit of wire, because that's now firm on there. Fireman's here. Got the tube out. Gonna have a look at that. I just put a new hose clip on the bottom hose there, tighten that one up. Got this one up here to do. I'm going to put some antifreeze in then. The tube had it. It is leaking all around the valve stem here. So tyres come off, rim being cleaned up, and go put a new tube in it. Tyre done, new tube in there. I was just putting the last bit of linkage on for the foot throttle and thinking, something's not right. When you're putting stuff back together that somebody else has taken apart, it's not something you work on every day until you come and make sure things work that you think they should work, and they don't because you put something on how you thought it was, but it was wrong. So on the throttle linkage and under there's a little bar with a loop on it, and I've got it the wrong side of the tab. So hopefully we can wriggle things down to get it up and the other side. So the foot throttle does its job independent of the hand throttle. Now we could slacken these two bolts off here and just prise this out to that rod there to get it out the pivot, to allow, then take that back off, drop it down and get that. You probably can't see it, but there's a loop that sits behind a bar on there. So we've got it in the right place now. So let's just get everything tightened back up and connect the rod up on the throttle pedal. Throttle pedal goes down and that bit there moves like it should. All a bit old and a bit of play in it, but I'll say move the hand throttle, it pulls the whole lot. So foot throttle does its job. Bolt's missing out the seat, there's only one holding it in. So find some more, that's bolted down, straight for horn and sender unit and alternator. And I think I can say I've done my part of the job. It's running. Well, you've seen it running. Be proof when we drive it out of here. So we've arrived. Obviously this is the old sender unit, which is looks like that. This one, which, yeah, that one used to be flat and that used to be straight, but I've had to modify it. I've had to twist it, put a bend in it, so it recreates and does full empty. So there's ways around things to make something that doesn't fit. So we can get that cable connected back up, put it in the tank, because obviously that only goes on in one position because the holes aren't the same, they're not equally spaced out. So I've modified it to make it fit. We've got, I know in the tank is down here fuel because it's below sender unit, so that's what's that, a third of a tank of fuel perhaps. I just wired it up. We have the ignition on, and what we're showing, oh, just over a quarter of a tank of fuel. Right, alternator's on, but I got to do some adjustments because the belt isn't quite lined up. So I'm going to take the bracket off down there, slot the holes, so it'll move back a little bit. It's not a lot, it's probably 5mm. That's all it needs. A bit of precision work. We now have some slotted holes, so we've got a bit of room to move that so the pulleys line up. She's all fitted on and looking a lot better in line now. Happy with that. But we now have another problem. Filled it up with water and antifreeze this morning. Just been had a cup of coffee. Obviously come back and fitted this on, and it's leaking antifreeze out the bottom of the water pump. Another job to do now. Just when I thought I was going to wrap this up today, nah. Right. Let's see if she fires up now and the charge light goes out. That'll be something. Yeah, well, win some, and then you fail on something else. Let's hope the horn works. That's something. Well, we've got one filter turned up to go in there, but I think they've supplied the wrong one because it was totally different to that. Even the part number on the paperwork was for that, but the filter wasn't that. Well, folks, that'll do for today because I got some bits to drop off and then go and order a water pump for this. So thanks for watching. click the old like, subscribe, give us a hype. I've had 67 hypes from the last week, so thank you one and all, much appreciated. You obviously enjoy the stuff I try and do here, even though we have the odd problem here and there. So until next time, look after yourselves, drop me a comment, I'll get back to you. So catch you later.